So as I get asked about this all the time, I thought, screw it, I can just make a video about it, and then I have like an HQ to send people. I mean, this video may only be about 2 minutes long, although I am quite good at rambling. So we will have to wait and see. But yes, if you've watched any of my content over at What Culture Wrestling, please head over there now and subscribe. I'll make sure there's a link in the description. Maybe I'll make sure there's a card, but I often forget that. You'll know I have quite the obsession with Repo Man. Now, who is Repo Man? You dare to ask? Well, he was Barry Darso. That's the man behind Repo Man. He used to be in Demolition. He was Smash, I believe. I sometimes get that wrong. And once Demolition, the tag team, had come to an end via, whatever reasons, it was decided that, we didn't want to let him go. We want to keep Barry Darso on. And he came up with the idea of Repo Man, which, as the name suggests, was a man who repossessed your things. Now, this was in an era of WWE, or WWF as it was back then in the mid-90s, where everybody had to have some kind of job gimmick, right? You had to if you weren't employed doing something else, you weren't allowed to be a pro wrestler in WWE. That was just the facts. We had Duke the Dumpster Droese, we had IRS, we had, oh man, there's loads to the point I can't even think, just tons. There was a baseball player, I can't remember his name. You had to have another job though. If you were just 100% doing wrestling within the story, F you're not allowed to be here. Some of them, though, cross the line because, I said this before, we'll take IRS into this too. They're just doing their job. No one likes paying taxes. Of course we don't. Taxes suck. In fact, if you're over here in the UK, don't know how it works in the US or elsewhere in the world, if you are self-employed, your halfway through the year tax is about to be due and you're probably like, oh, great, stupid tax, I hate it. But IRS just wanted you to pay your taxes. He'd come to the ring. He would say, I make you pay your taxes. Then we'll go, boo, boo. What do you mean, boo? He's given you good, solid advice. And it was the same as Repo Man. I have to go back and watch specifically, although I've watched a lot of Repo Man stuff. And every now and then it was kind of hinted at that maybe he's repossessing things that he shouldn't have been repossessing. But then that's not a Repo Man. That's a straight up criminal. If you're just stealing shit, that's not doing your job. You're just being an asshole. I mean, he did used to go around with a big, I am a criminal, I'm a crime person sack. I don't know what that was about, but I guess you've got to have some kind of bag to put your repossessions in. But really, the idea was, if you're not keeping up with your loans or the repayments on your house or whatever, and you've got to make it good with whoever you loan that money from, the Repo Man, Barry Darso, is going to come around your house and he's going to sort it out. He is just providing a service, and yet for years, he got booed and he got booed and he got booed. And that's why I love it. I love it because it's dumb. I love it because you couldn't have that in another form of entertainment. I love it that because he was a Repo Man, he wore a mask, which I now am as well. There's just none of it made any sense. But because of that, it stood with me for the test of time. And I do just want to say this. It's not a joke. I love Repo Man. I think it's wonderful. I think it ties into my obsession with professional wrestling and the curious nature of sports entertainment as it is. And one day I really hope to see him back in WWE. It may be a problem because he was part of the concussion lawsuit and he'd have to make amends with Vince McMahon. Although that can happen. But I will love him. I will love him forever as this mask tries to take my own eye out. Good gosh. But more importantly than all of this is that I remember him. And really, when you're doing any kind of entertaining or sports or whatever, and a kid is watching, if you're able to do something, look, I'm in my early 30s, and here I am sat in my house, like a real adult, and I'm wearing a Repo Man mask, talking about Repo Man, and I don't think Repo Man has been on TV ever. We did that old school Raw, old school Battle Royal, whatever it was. Repo Man was in that. That was at least minimum 5 years ago, if not longer. Before that, he probably wasn't around since 96. So let's just say it's 24 years, 23 years for the sake of argument. I know he's been here and there. That is saying something. So Repo Man, shout out to you. One day I hope to meet you, Barry Darso, but dressed in Repo Man stuff, and shake your hand, if nothing else, for the retweets. That'll do mad retweets on Twitter, just so you know. But it is not a joke. I have pushed it too hard now, but that's just what you do. You latch onto something and you go a bit crazy. I love Repo Man. I will always love Repo Man. Repo Man is arguably the greatest, worst gimmick of all time. And just long live Repo Man. Thank you for the memories. My name's Simon Miller. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Instagram at Simon316, Twitter at Simon316, patreon.com/Simon Miller 316. I got merchandise too. SimonMiller.BigCartel.com. Subscribe.